Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, all my old subscribers. I appreciate everybody that's kept me going through these last 3 years, keep me motivated to keep doing videos. I know I haven't done videos of my shop much, but I'm in my shop every day, pretty much. I just don't have a lot of time because I'm working full time, for the past year. It's been a crazy year. You guys know I went back to work a year ago, and it's been a great year, but busy, busy, busy. I've never been so busy in my life. And as you guys saw in my videos recently, my son works with us too. He's a apprentice sign fabricator and is doing a phenomenal job. So today I got a question about contour cut and perf lines. This is going to be a quick way of how I do them. You're not going to see all the dialogues in the Corel because it just doesn't pick up the dialogues for whatever reason. But when I transition over to Flexi, you're going to see the dialogues. And what I mean is you'll see like this. So in Flexi, you're going to see all these dialogues pop up when I do things. You're going to see, Design Central. In Corel, you're not going to see those pop up. For whatever reason, the software doesn't pick them up. So it only picks them up on the remote desktop. Why? I really don't know. So it's not really going to be more like how to do this, create a line in Corel. I'm just going to tell you what I do. And then I'm going to transition to the Flexi. And then you're going to see how the contour cut lines and the settings I use when I do them with my HP Latex. Because ultimately, this is going to be a full video on creating the files and then printing it and cutting it just so you guys could see every step of the way. Sorry, I got some other distractions in the background playing here. All right, so let me get started. So my son's going to do these stickers for a friend he wants to give. And it's just going to be a simple way to do bitmaps, okay? So I'm bringing in a bitmap. This is just a basic bitmap, not vector. I'll go in wireframe so you can see it's a bitmap. There's many ways of doing it, and I know a lot of people have been around for a long time. They know faster ways, and I know faster ways too. A little bit more complex, but faster. So this is just going to keep it simple, okay? So what I do is I get my original image, guys, and I'm not using my nudge because you could use nudge to get your positions right. But what I'm going to do is just make a copy of this and drag it over. Okay, so the first thing I usually do when I get a bitmap, I need to get a contour line or an outline, is I usually convert it to black and white. So I'm just going to go ahead and convert this to black and white. There you go. Now I got my black and white image. This is really simple stuff here. This is, I can't explain it even easier, but after I convert it using my drop down menu up here, if you look, I go to bitmaps and then I go to mode, change it to black and white. This is what I get. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down bitmap to outline, but I'm going to go ahead and use line art to convert it to vector. So now I'm going to get the vector file converted off of that bitmap. I'll drag it over. There's my, I'll go in wireframe. So there's my vector file off of that image, okay? And a lot of times when you're just trying to get a contour, you don't need all the details. You're not going to get all these details because that pixelation in there, right? So it doesn't really matter because you're just getting an outline, which it's going to smooth it out. It's going to give you one. So the next step, because has a break in the image, right here and here, you just got to create an outline that closes that path off. So I'm going to go ahead and just, I'm going to delete that background, that white, for now. Okay, now it's still grouped. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to just select the two pieces that I need. So I can just ungroup all and then select them separately and then just drag them over so you'll see the rest of it's here. Or I could have just used my control shift. So now I just make sure they're grouped. Okay, so here's your group. This is your final outline that you're going to need. So go to contour right on the outside here, which says contour, my mouse. I go back to the image. I just click, I drag out. And a lot of times I'll just go anywhere, but I usually have about a 1.8 on my outline. But because of this gap here, you got to go a little bit more. So I'll bring it out a little bit more. And then what happens is I usually go out till it connects. So I'll just go to 3.5, hit enter, right? Because later on I can go, now I got a full solid line I can go off of. So what I'll do is now I'm just going to go ahead and we now have the outline. Sorry, let me go back. We now have our outline we can go off of. So now from that point, I just go to Object, Shaping, and then Boundary. Now I got my boundary. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this and put my boundary back. Now there's my contour closed off. And so what I'll do is I'll just bring it in a little bit more. Usually go around there. This is just for the contour. In Flexi, I'm going to do the perf. Okay. So go ahead and just break that apart. And that's it. So that's where I'm going to leave that for now. And then what I like to do a lot of times, I like to smooth out any corners if there is any. Now I don't have any in this one, but usually I would close these off, make them nice and smooth. So just to keep this less complicated, I'm going to drag it over. Doesn't have to be perfect. There's ways of doing it without having to do that. Okay. So there's my image, and I'm going to leave it as the bitmap with my contour. And I'm just going to go ahead and export this image as a PDF. All right, I'm going to export it. Make sure your selection's on. I keep it at PDF 4, see I'm okay. That's the way I do it. So now I'm going to go ahead and transition over to my Flexi. So now I'm on the remote server window, and you'll be able to see how I set up all the cut lines and the perf lines in here. So let's go ahead and bring in that image, Lust outline. All right, and there we are. Okay, since I'm printing and cutting from Flexi, I'm doing my cut lines in here. In Corel, I could have automatically set those cut lines, but I just want to show you guys the way we would do it if you're running Flexi or Corel with HP Latex. All right, so here's my cut contour line that's highlighted. There's lots of ways to make this simple. If you're just going to do a cut contour, you can just go to Arrange, Contour, Make, just like that. Or you can do under Effects, Contour, Cut. And what that'll allow us to do is it allows us to change the offset and the color. So I'll do my drop down, and I'll make sure it's selected Cut Contour. Hover over it, it'll tell you what it is. You can see that. Put an offset if I need an offset, or no offset. Hit check. Now that is a contour cut line right now. I notice there's a little bit of those outside here. It doesn't matter because it's going to cut off that. Okay, so now I got my cut line. The next thing I want to do is create my perf cut line. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one off of that one and call that perf cut. Okay, and then put an offset of, let's see how a 0.18 offset. Now you can see there's my perf line, and let's go ahead and break that out, separate it out. So there's my happens. So what I'm going to do is I got my second line. What I'm going to do with that one is create that one again like I did, perf cut. I'm going to leave the offset at 0 right on that line. So now I got my perf cut and my contour cut lines in there. So from this point, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and open up my rip and print, and you guys are going to see my my cut settings here. So you can see my contour is kiss cut vinyl, perf cut vinyl, cut through. I also have presets. I would do that. You can, if you set up your Flexi, that's what you'd have. For the kiss cut, when it opens here, usually 85, as you can see. Okay, that usually doesn't change for my vinyl, usually at all. It'll never change for my vinyl. For my cut throughs, this is what I'm using, and this can all change however you guys do yours. Right now, my settings for the full pressure is 315. My full pressure cut length is 0.7. My flex pressure is 150. My flex pressure cut length is 013. I like these settings. I've done a lot. The only thing you may do is go up or down depending on how old your cut strip is on yours. Now, right, 315, I've been on 315 for a long time. It cuts through on my media that I use. The Oracal stuff, it's a calendar, like a generic air release type stuff. And it works for me. It may be different for you. Your cutting depends on how your blade's set up and all that stuff. So keep that in mind. This could change, could go higher. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my preset. And that's it. I usually hold in the list, as you can see here, because I'll actually run it from my my production manager directly instead of, you know, the running the right from here. So what I'll do is now I'll go ahead and I'll just set my quantities. I'll get my page size for one. It's going to be page size for the for a big sheet right now. So these are actually going to be 3 inches. Okay. So we'll go ahead and make, we'll make 30. 33. And I usually have a 0.5 gap. I'm going to put it back down at 5. Because you want to kind of have those channels in between your rollers on your cutter. If you got the basic one, you're a little bit more limited on the roller position. So if you try to get the rollers in these channels here, it helps tremendously. Your first roller can be over here too. So that's pretty much that. Make sure that you're in the hold list, and then you're done. And then what I'll do is I'll come back to the video and we'll go from there. So just hang tight. Okay, so I got my production manager, as you can see. Let me go down. There's our image. I'll go ahead and I'll double click, open it up. I usually do everything from the production manager rather than just straight sending it. Okay, so it's loaded up here. Looks like with the settings that we're going to get about 28 for this position here with my 0.5. Again, you want to just confirm your settings. I'm going to go ahead and run these at an 8 pass with my Oracal. This is Oracal 3164, guys. That's what I'm using on here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send them. But before I send them, let me hit OK. Before I send them, I'm going to go ahead and check my cutting settings on here. So I got 28. We're under my self-adhesive preset, and everything looks good there. So I'll go ahead and we'll leave that. And then go back. Open it back up. All right. And then this is where I'm just going to send from. There's a space in the front. I usually back my media up as much as possible. So I'll go ahead and send this. I'll pause the video. We're going to go ahead and go to the printer and watch it cut. Okay, guys? All right, we're at the printer. I'm just waiting for it to load up. See what I do for my media? I put a couple strips down and I tape it so I don't waste all that media. So as it starts, I'll just kind of pull and I'll make sure it comes out. I do that to save media on my banner and for my vinyl, usually all the time. So it's going to go ahead and warm up. It's running at 241. So let's wait for it to start up. It's going to go ahead and start. Preview it. I actually changed it to a 10 pass on this just to give it a little bit better resolution because it is a bitmap. And you could see on the Latex, if you're running a short media, it doesn't do a full sweep on some of the larger machines. It's doing a partial, sweep, but there is a slight pause when it goes back and forth. It's not too bad, but there is a slight pause there. Let's see, it's starting to print the barcode. And now the print's coming on here. I'll go ahead and pause and just let this finish up. We'll take it out and put it in the cutter. All right, we're going to go ahead and cut them out. Hit the barcode. Bring it over the head. Hit play. It's going to find the code. It's going to read it. And then it's going to cut it. It's like usual, guys. Same cutting strip I've had over 3 years. I've done a lot of cut and perf on this. So now it's going to go ahead and just read the registration marks on the sides. And not sure what the velocity is. It'll probably contour cut pretty quick. There it goes. So that's just the contour cut, and then it'll come back for the perf. Very important that you got your blades set up right on the cutter, guys. My settings could really not help you as much if you don't have your blades set up the way I do. And I did previous videos on how I set it up. So just kind of go back if you can. I only did like 24. This is just for my son to give to his friend. Now I'm going to do the perf cutting. See how the perf usually starts at the top of the image and works its way down, so it doesn't over-track itself. And you can see where my wheels are. From experience, I know where I got to go to keep the wheels on the non-cut areas. And I'm not trying to break any speed records on this, guys. I just want them done right so I don't have to do them again. Kind of hard to grab one hand holding the camera. So that's the HP Latex 115. Same cutting strip for over 3 years now. And my settings that I showed you. It's still perfect, guys. I never have any problems. Once you get it set up right, you know, from there it just goes on. So that's that, guys. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit that notification, guys. See you in the next one.